What? What was a retro sesh reference?
Let's do this.
Yeah?
Yeah?
You had to just, as soon as I hit start recording, the first thing you're going to hear is retro sesh.
You prompted me though.
Self-promotion.
I did not. I just said, let's go or let's do this.
What's a retro sesh reference?
Shut up.
Oh, right.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pocket Knockers podcast. That's our theme tune. It cost us 5 yen.
Yen.
Yen. Come in, yenny or not. Right. Today, I am Mike, as I usually am, apart from on Wednesdays when I'm Michaela. And we have the young Edward. Edward.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. We've got a lovely guest with us today as well. His name is Mark. Hello, Mark.
Hi there, nice to be here.
And Mark is a very good close friend of yours, isn't he, Ed?
Yes, he's practically family.
Yeah.
Do introduce.
Well, I've known him as long as I can remember, and the majority of what is now known as retro gaming, it was all from playing like Mega Drive games and other console games with Mark. So yeah, it's all his fault.
Yeah,
basically.
pretty much.
There you go.
I'm pretty much responsible for all his taste in really bad and really good.
Good.
games.
You Sega or Nintendo?
Oh, I'd definitely say a Sega boy.
Good man.
He's back in the day, you know.
Yeah. Oh, no, still.
You know.
It's okay, they're still going strong. The Dreamcast is still better than the Xbox.
Oh yeah.
Right. Now then, today, as you've probably guessed already, we're going to be doing games, usually of the retro variety, but we've chucking a couple of modern ones in as well.
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, or Southern Fried Chicken.
Chuck under paws.
Right, let's spin that wheel. We are going to do 3 rounds. We're going to do good games. So Ed and I are going to pick, well, the Wheel of Death is going to pick one game of our list. We have I've written 10 good games, and so has Ed, and we'll get one of those each, and we're going to have to battle it out to find out who, indeed, has the best game. And Mark, of course, is going to be our lovely judge, and also Mr. Speaker. And he's going to be prompting us with questions and telling us to shut up when we don't. We then, for the second round, have bad games. So we're then going to be fighting about how our poor game of choice is the worst game in the world, and the other person's going to be trying to say how it's actually not that bad and they're over exaggerating it was a poor choice for a shit game. The third round is when we have 10 of Mark's games, and Mark has picked some very peculiar games. So the way that round will work is we will do the Wheel of Death again. It'll pick a random game, that'll be our game, and Ed will have a different game, and then we will have to Google. I'm just going to put a 5-minute limit on the Googling. Watch a couple of trailers of the game, get to know it a bit.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we're going to come back in after that, and we're going to be fighting about trying to portray that we know this game very well and the reasons of why it is the best one. And, of course, as with the other rounds, Mark will be dictating the winner. There will be no bias on Mark's part.
No.
He will be simply choosing who voices the best argument.
I'm completely impartial. Sega, all the way.
Right. Ed, if you wouldn't mind, can you spin my fucking wheel, please?
I'll spin your wheel.
Yeah. Oh, here it comes. I can sense it. God, the technology.
Sound effects.
Tick, 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 tick.
Thank God!
Oh,
Woo! That is a heavy hitter, man.
that's a rig.
GTA San Andreas.
Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, Christ, what's that going to be up against?
You get.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Fucking hell.
Come on.
Let's see
Come on.
what I've got
Jedi Knight.
next.
Yeah.
Oh, you fucking know it. Or
Oh, it's Horace.
oh, wow.
That's topical, man.
This is not. This is not the fact that promotes the fact that I stream Horace every Tuesdays right now.
Once again.
Twitch.tv/Ed.
Wow, that's an interesting.
Also, I'm going to start streaming GTA SA on Retro Sesh now as well. So,
Works out well.
okay, right.
Okay.
No Googling required for this round. I think we both know these games rather well. I must say, though, I don't know Horace very well at all.
Okay.
Is that is a popular game?
Why
is
don't
it?
you watch my fucking streams?
I watched 5 minutes, of which you had to restart your computer.
Oh, shut up.
I must confess, I don't know much about it either, other than what I've seen on your stream.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's probably a good place to
So
start.
just to clarify, we've only just started the round, and my one, when it came up, we all applauded, and we knew that that was a good game, and
Yeah.
yours we've never heard of.
Yeah.
So that's good. Let's go. Mark, time for you to take over, sir.
Oh, okay.
If you would like to impale Ed with some questions.
Any questions that you want?
Any questions?
Obviously.
I mean, obviously, I know you own it because you were streaming it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but what do you currently own it on?
Digital.
Digital.
Now, I've got to be honest here. I saw someone playing it and I thought, you know what, I will get that. And by the time I was going to go and get it, it turned up on the Epic Store. And on a weekly free offer, so I thought, great, I'll get it.
Really?
So I'll be completely honest, and this is not helping me whatsoever, but I got it on the Epic Store and I didn't pay a thing for it.
Good.
But I think it's about £9-10 on Steam and it's well worth the money.
Yes, yeah. From what I've seen, I mean, it's designed to be a 16-bit.
Yeah, it's hard to
Because it's modernised,
say.
right?
Yeah, it's
but
very,
what struck me about the game, I don't know why I'm doing your job for you.
No, but go for it.
Is how fluid the game runs. It is just a puzzler, jumpy platformer, but because it's a modernised one, it's so fluid. It is really good. You died a lot. Is that a theme that you die all the way
It
through?
does look hard.
Like rinse and repeat. Do each section 20 times. Learn what the timings are.
I'm not trying to go off tangent here, but part of the story is a robot built for a family, and it's got this rich professor who kind of tunes him up,
Right.
and upgrades him and such throughout the time.
Oh, so Horace is a mechanoid.
Yeah, he's yeah, it's like that. He's a robot.
Okay. Cybernetic organism, living tissue over metal endoskeleton.
Not quite one of them. But there is a bit at the beginning where he says that you can do this obstacle course,
Right.
but don't worry, you have infinite lives, much like a video game. So it kind of just points right at it, goes, you know what this is.
Fourth wall.
Yeah, and then the robot at the point says, I don't know what a video game is.
So it's a bit like Portal in that respect then, really. You kind of die, you blow up, and then you just kind of whoop.
Yeah. Okay, it's pretty much, if you've got a... Normally what it is you enter one door on part of a level, then you've got to get to another door. And if you die at any point between door A and door B, then you start back at door A, and you've got to go through it all over again.
Yeah.
So you were collecting junk as well. Is that optional, or is that part
That
of
is
the
optional.
game?
It's I guess it's kind of like collecting all the Chaos Emeralds in Sonic. You don't have to,
No.
but if you do it, you get a bit
You
extra.
get a bit more.
Yeah.
I thought, sorry, I went Sonic Adventure. I was like, no, you literally have to.
Yeah, real Sonic.
It's not those. It's not those games.
So
Yeah. How's
Yeah.
the story then? Because I know it's got like
the story,
dark bits to
the
it.
story is brilliant. Yeah, it does have. It's funny and it can be sad and it can be dark in places, but it's all done very tongue-in-cheek with a lot of humour and lots of cultural
He
references.
narrates, doesn't he? Like narrates the whole thing.
Yeah,
as well.
almost like sounds a bit like Microsoft Sound.
Yeah. To start with, when I was watching your stream of it, and I thought this could get a little bit annoying. This voice
Okay.
continuously, because he's not just speaking in the cutscenes; he's speaking over the top of the gameplay as well as you're playing.
Only frequently. So, but the cutscenes they are long, and I think there is an option in the settings to skip the cutscenes if you want to, so you can turn it on. But
Yeah.
it's really advised not to
I know,
because the
yeah.
story is a really massive bit of
So
it.
you'd be missing out.
I should point out that I googled this. I haven't actually finished it yet. I've seen the majority of the game because I've seen other people play it. That encouraged me to get it myself. But I haven't even finished the game yet, and it's one of my favourites. But apparently you could knock in about, on average, 40 to 50 hours
Yeah.
of gameplay.
Which is amazing.
4050.
Amazing for a platformer like that. That's insane. And for it to not feel fatiguing.
Yeah. The good thing about it is when you die, it doesn't have this kind of like fade out, you died, or anything like that. It's bang, you're straight back at the beginning.
Looks like you jump straight back
That's
in.
right, yeah.
Quite good.
Yeah, again, like Portal.
Yeah.
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 That's
Yeah, rather than Resident Evil, you die.
Yeah, there's no loading. There's no loading time between deaths or anything like that. It's instant.
Would you describe Horace as original, like the actual gameplay, or would you say it's what's it been influenced by?
That's interesting. So the originality, I would say, is the way they've done the humour and the cultural references. Definitely.
The story.
It's they've got so many nods to other games, TV series, British and American. It's got a whole mix there. Yeah, they've got a couple of Coronation Street vibes in there at some points, and then at one point you see what looks like Rachel and Chandler from Friends in the background.
Oh right.
Where's it set then? Is it set in a certain time period?
That's it.
Or is it all just?
It feels very like. There's one point where he's introduced to video games, and you can see he starts with an Atari console.
Okay.
And then the next minute they're playing on what looks like a NES, all the way up to like a PlayStation 2.
Okay.
So, but then you end up playing what resembles Pong in the game.
Right.
So it's not just platforming all the way.
Yeah.
There are other elements to it.
Mini games.
It's sort of like that.
I saw a bit where he's playing the drums.
Yes.
You have to hit the button in time.
To get from one area to another, sometimes you've got to take a train. To take a train, you need money. To do that, you've got to do mini games, which is one like you're drying plates, and you basically there's these four old women standing by sinks in a cafe,
right?
And they're all throwing these plates at you, and you've got to catch them in time with the music.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And there's also arcade machines, so they've got like an Outrun clone.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's so much in there.
Out of interest, how big is the game, like gigabyte wise?
It's 12 gig, the install size.
Oh, that's pretty good. Pretty gig.
Yeah, pretty gig.
Yeah.
Gig bigabytes.
Yeah. Jigglybytes. Good stuff.
All right. I believe it's just come out on Switch as well. Quite recently.
That's
expand the audience.
I feel like that's the perfect console for it, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Take it out with you, play it on the train, bus, all that stuff with your mask on. Go on, whack it in your TV. Yeah,
you're not wrong. Given the sort of how Ed's just described it as kind of this very pick up and play sort of mentality, would you say you could just kind of play it for like 5 or 10 minutes and then put it down?
You wouldn't want to.
No,
I'll be honest.
No. I know.
They've got some. They've also got some really tough bosses on it as well. There's one level I was on the other day where you've got these snake-like things. They're going around in a circle. At one point in the game, you pick up these boots so you can walk up walls and things.
I saw you doing
the
that.
whole. Everything rotates.
Yeah.
As you walk around, so you walk around this circle trying to avoid these snake things, and then once you catch it, then you get these flames coming out, and they spiral around you. So you've got to kind of like find the right space to duck, and you've got to move with it, pretty much like the old Japanese platform games.
You say you die a lot. Do you find it frustrating?
No, that's the great thing. Sometimes it does, but it just makes you want to go further. But because you don't have that loading time and it's a quick snap and you're back there, the music doesn't even stop. The music carries on. Everything still feels fluid, so it doesn't feel like you're going, fuck's sake, now I've got to wait for it to load, even if it's just for a second. You have those kinds of games where it's like I could never play Bloodborne. The amount of people can die. The amount of times people can die in that game, but it slowly fades in. So you died, and then you're fucking waiting for the level to load.
What was that bloody game? There's 3 of them. They're very popular.
Dark Souls?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. You got it. Similar to that sort of thing. You're dying a lot, rinsing and repeating, finding out what the patterns of the enemies are, where they are. So on and so forth.
That's it. With this, you do have to work out the pattern sometimes with the enemies, but because it's so quick, you're practically still with the boss. The only the only thing is the boss lives reset, so you still have to go through. If you die, if he's taken 3 out of 5 hits, and if you die, it resets back to you still got to do 5 hits, which is good. It still feels like you've got that element of you've still got to push through this. But
it would be a bit shit for you to just respawn with him still having half.
Someone else we know, hello PSB, if you're listening, he played Horace, and he said that sometimes he spent up to 45 minutes on a boss.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He got angry with it, but he still persisted because it's a brilliant game.
Yeah. I've been in the same situation a couple of times. You'll know this one very well, Mark, and you played Sonic Adventure before, right? Egg Viper.
He's dabbled in it.
Egg Viper at the end.
Oh gosh, yeah.
It's not particularly hard boss.
No.
But we all know that Sonic Adventure is a very janky game in the way the camera throws around and stuff.
Yeah.
That's the thing, because you're jumping off your platform and trying to jump up onto him, mount him, if you will. But the camera hinders you so much. That was one of those bosses I spent. I think I did take a break though on that one and come back to it because I was fucking livid. Because when the game fucks you over, it makes me so furious.
There is something like Ed's just said. It's that thing about how certain games can punish you, but you keep coming back for more.
That's it.
More, and it's not because you're dying because the game's bad. It's because you're not good enough yet.
That's it, and that's what makes a good game.
But when you get to that point where you can, achieve it and overcome the obstacle, that's when you get that huge sense of like
achievement, because you did it.
Yeah.
It's not you winging it and getting past the game's mechanics because they're shit.
Yeah.
It's you, but getting better.
Yeah.
That's the sign of good game design.
Exactly.
So it sounds like, from what you've just described, that Horace has that.
There was one bit I was on the other day. As I said, when you walk up the walls, it flips, and gravity flips with you as well. So there was one bit where there's this long corridor that you've got to get from one end to the other. The floor and the ceiling are electrified, so you can't touch the floor or the ceiling. The way you've got to do is you've got to walk up the step. Once you're up the step, the whole thing flips 45 degrees. Once it flips 45 degrees, you can then jump down.
Right.
But rather than walk across. But these fences, they're almost a bit zigzagged.
Right. Okay.
So when you're in the air, you've got to kind of move yourself left and right a bit. And you get that little sense of achievement, just being able to actually do that left, right.
Yeah.
And it can take, 5, maybe 10 goes before you can perfect it.
Yeah.
But you still want to keep going. Yeah.
Like you say, just doing a quick Google here and seeing that 505 are publishing it is quite a good sign, actually.
Okay. What else do they publish? Sorry, I'm not familiar with the name.
Are you not?
I don't usually pay attention to publishers. One of my biggest failures.
We should point out Horace is, I think it came out around about August last year, I think it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, right. And just to clarify, Bastion was the game I was talking about with the narrator.
Okay.
It's very good, and it's the best experience I've had with a narrator in a game. That being said, I haven't really watched too much time of Ed playing it or played Horace myself, so that one could be better.
Okay.
But that was just, you talking about it was very reminiscent of me playing that game.
Yeah.
Also, there's a game called Braid. I don't know if you've played Braid, but in that you solve puzzles by going back and forward in time and reversing time and stuff to get around things.
I've played that.
It's very good. And that, again, you talking about manipulating gravity and stuff
Is that a
made
cat?
me think about that.
Yeah.
No, you play a guy.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
Maybe.
What am I thinking?
Is that a cat?
No, it's not a cat coming down your stairs. No, is it?
No.
No. No, I don't know. I must be thinking of something else. I'm sure there's a cat that could manipulate time in some other game.
That's my cat
It was
again.
Binks or something. Anyway.
Oh, maybe. Bubsy.
505 have also published No Man's Sky, Payday 2, Stardew Valley, Warhammer, several of the Warhammer games.
Okay.
They've got their Bloodstained as well.
Right, I haven't played it.
Yeah, which is a very good game.
I know, obviously, Payday 2 when it came out was rather massive, wasn't it?
So they've got their fingers in a lot of pies, as you can tell. So they wouldn't just scoop up any old crap.
No.
So that's a, that's something that's
I
it's got
can't-
going for it.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but why don't we talk about Mike's game?
You could.
I feel like I'm just winning through the roof here. I don't want it to end. I wish that you had no time at all to discuss your fucking game.
Yeah, what was this game again?
Yeah, there we go. San Andreas.
Mine was Boris.
Boris,
B-O-R-A-C-E.
The sequel. Never.
Boris.
So tell us about a little series called Grand Theft something.
Grand Theft Auto. So let's start back in the mists of time. We shan't focus on the history of them too much. We're only concentrating on one.
You've chosen San Andreas, which I believe is the fourth.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, without spin-offs and Game Boy ones.
Yeah. What makes that particular entry
Okay.
so good for you?
You had all the other games putting life of crime, playing games as a criminal into perspective for all us young children to play. And then, of course, GTA 3, you had the 3D aspect came around, but it was janky. It didn't work correctly. The draw distance was no further than your forehead. You had Vice City, which is absolutely gorgeous in its own way, but yet again still has some technical limitations and some optimization issues and things like that. And then they brought San Andreas out, where they'd completely nailed absolutely everything, used every inch of the PlayStation 2 that you could possibly imagine. I have this game boxed with the map because it comes with a map. And it's one of the first games. I lie, actually. I think GTA 3 probably was, but you definitely have the map out next to you when you're playing the game. You start learning the places, and you start remembering the streets, and you start actually feeling like you're in the game and you're playing it. And it's actually a sense of escapism. Even things like not only just mechanics like actually shooting is really satisfying in the game as well, from having handguns, baseball bats, dildos, all the way to sawn off dual shotguns, all the way down to things like you can play basketball in the court behind your house. They thought about so much, and you can tell at this point that they had really focused in on nailing every aspect of this game. The driving's solid, and you do drive in the game a lot because the map is big. Not massive.
Or you can bicycle.
You can bicycle?
Yes.
Yeah, BMX, mountain bike, road bike. Actually, no road bike, I don't think, in GTA San Andreas.
Was it the first one you could swim in, or was it before that? I can't remember if Vice
No, it's the first one you could swim in. Yeah, you can't swim in Vice City.
You died in Vice City, didn't you?
Exactly. And just like you were picking up scraps, in this you get shells, hidden packages. Sorry, not shells, oysters.
Tags.
Sorry?
Spray tags?
Yeah, your tags to get your you have to recapture your hood, don't you? You have to make them all green and capture it all back from the ballers. And it just, as a white boy living in, having a rather privileged childhood, to be able to play as a gangster growing up in the streets of Compton, going around America, going down what would be Vegas, really, in the Third Island. It was just amazing. As a child, of course, I never actually did get to go to America or do anything like that. I hope I do one day. But I do genuinely feel like I've experienced some sort of not historic, but some elements of America in the game, especially in the criminal sense.
I would say video games are all about escapism.
That's it.
That's why we play them mostly.
Yeah.
Is to, like you say, to experience something we wouldn't normally get a chance to do.
I don't want to really say this because I'm selling it towards Mike's way, but I lost a lot of time on GTA San Andreas. Around that time, I was playing that and one of the Gran Turismos that came out around
3
A spec. Was it A spec? I think it was 3 A spec. And
that was a good
one
one
afterwards.
4.
Was it 4 though?
Or was there like a weird thing? I think it was 4.
Yeah, it was Gran Turismo 4.
Because after that they then did Prologue. That's when they started.
That was the PS3 shit one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I played 3A spec a lot, but that was I think I was at a mate's I played that for. Then I got Gran Turismo 4. I remember because I had a friend staying with me at the time, and me and him, I started playing it. I think it was a DeLorean. We did a race. I know we're going off tangent. Sorry. We did a race in a DeLorean on the Nürburgring,
Right.
24 hour. So like I was doing a bit for a bit. Then I went to work. He took over.
Really?
I came back from work and then I took over.
And you did it? Did you win?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Imagine if you lost.
Loads of times. But the point is that we played the PlayStation a lot.
Yeah.
And there was that and San Andreas. They were the two games.
And you got things like in San Andreas, like of course you've got the storyline. I think everyone listening and us three are very familiar with the storyline. But yeah, you're a brother of a family. You come back to your home street.
I believe is it CJ the character.
Sorry, CJ. Yeah, that's the main protagonist.
Yes, that's right.
And you basically become part of the Grove Street gang, and you have to help them all out, and you become more ingrained into it, and you become you get more respect, and you become a larger sort of. There's like a word I'm trying to think of here, like a don sort of. You get good, you get
more
big.
street cred.
Yeah, a lot. You get your way up, and they start respecting you more, and then you realise that there's actually corruption going on beneath you, and that there's actually the story unfolds at that level. And then so you've got all that, and you've got all those levels and missions and stuff to do. But then going back, you can be a taxi driver for a few hours by buying because you can buy the buildings, of course. You forget that, but you can buy the taxi company, and you can be a taxi driver, and there's actually, I was going to say achievements, not achievements, but you get like perks in the game for being able to do that. Like, for instance, you could be anywhere and just hail a taxi, and it would come get you. If you had completed all of those, you needn't drive anyway. You get free taxis and everything everywhere.
The more time you put into this game, from the sounds of it, the more you get back out.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And you go to the gym. That's how you... Because if you don't go to the gym and you just eat fast food all the time, you get fat. And then if you go to the gym, you get really buff and fit and stuff.
Or
and
if you don't go to the gym and you keep swimming and running, you get skinny.
Yeah. And if you do a lot of shooting, you get better gun accuracy and stuff like that.
Wasn't it the first one to mod cars as well?
I was going to get there.
Oh, sorry.
No, yeah. And as a car guy, the cars in the game, they range from, as we mentioned, like push bikes to lowriders to vans to sports cars to supercars to muscle cars to lowriders. And you get a tuning shop. I think there's 3 different tuning shops, or maybe just 2. But basically, there's a difference. There's 3 definitely. One's I'm getting away with it now. One's your normal modifications shop. One specialises in lowriders and sort of more Mexican, Spanish stuff like that. And the other one focuses on like import tuners and like Nissan Skylines and big wings and stuff like that. But you can recreate those cars, because at the time we were all watching Fast and Furious and stuff like that as well. And then you could start recreating those cars, bringing them into the game and building them for yourself. And I mean, that was amazing. I remember I actually, because I think Pete got this before me, and Pete's the other half of Retro Sesh. Piss
off, Michael.
And when I used to go over his house for a few hours to have dinner or whatever after school, I wouldn't play the game. I would just modify cars. I'd just be like, I'll grab this car. Oh, this car looks cool. I'm going to take that there, and I can do this and I can do that. And then Pete would be like, don't fucking save it, because I'd just blown his whole money that he'd worked on. But man, no, I had so much love for this game, and it's one of those games as well. I actually booted it up, I'm going to say a month ago.
I was just ask you, when did you last play this?
Yeah, a month ago. And because I saved my save file, because I got it on PC, so I just copied my save file out and pasted it, so I can uninstall the game and then reinstall it on Steam later and paste my save file back in and carry on playing.
Now, does it hold up though by today's standards?
No, it doesn't. It's not. When you play it, you don't get that essence of this is the game I remember, that massive sparse environment. After you play GTA 5 at least 1080. Most of us are probably more on like 1200 DPI now. Some of us, if you're lucky enough, 4K. But we've been sort of treated now, and we've been conditioned to expect that. What I will say though is that there is still a very strong community for this game, to the point where you can get mods up the wazoo. And one of those mods is a full graphics overhaul. Which then, in answer to your question, does make it a lot more nice to deal with. But that's not how the game came out the factory, so I don't know if we should include that. But there is still a large community, and there's even something called SAMP, which is a mod that you can do for multiplayer. So you can play GTA co-op with your friends, up to like 26 people. You can make your own server. And that's mental. I haven't done it since it was current, but it's still live and kicking.
Well, yes, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves, obviously. We all know it was a very successful game.
Yes.
You know, according to Wikipedia here, it sold like 12 million copies just on the PlayStation alone. I don't know if it was ever re-released on anything. I don't think so.
It was on Xbox as well, wasn't it? Surely.
You played it on PlayStation, right?
I played it on PS2. It's on Steam. It's on. You can get it on Android and iOS. You can. It's on every platform.
Would you say this game deserves a remaster?
No, I don't want them to do a remaster.
No,
I want them to leave it alone. I'm not against. I'm not against remasters. Some games do need a remaster.
Yeah.
But some of them, you know what? Like even when I just said, like I went back and I played it and it doesn't hold up today. That's fine with me. I want to play San Andreas. I don't want to play what someone thinks San Andreas should look like. And if that's how it looked back then, and I'm conditioned now to think, oh, why can't I see that building from 6 kilometres away? Why am I so European now? Then, that's the way it is. That's the way it is. And I want to remember that picture. If they remade it, I'd buy it.
As I'm sure many others would.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very interesting to hear you talk about this game, Mike, because me personally, I never really got that much into the GTA series.
Okay.
I dabbled in it, but not on the level that you and Ed did.
Okay.
Sinking hours of my life into those kind of games.
Yeah.
So to hear you talk about it and the passion you sort of bring to the conversation is really quite interesting.
Well, thank you very much.
I mean, it sounds like both of these games you've made very strong cases for the fact that they are both games that you can put a lot of time into and feel very rewarded. For that time, which is good. That's what you want in a game. That's exactly what you want.
I think that's something that definitely both have in common, to be fair.
But before we move on,
sir,
you don't need to use sexual names here, all right?
Is that what I call you?
I'm not,
sir.
I'm not kink shaming, all right? You're my kitten.
Whatever, dear.
We can't talk about any GTA, without at least just spending 30 seconds on the radio stations. Because you driving around the radio stations, you got K-Rose, K-Jar in GTA 3, there's just so many notable ones. Those radio presenters, the adverts on them as well, like adopt a dog, and we'll box it up and deliver it straight to your door through your letterbox and things like this. It's so funny. And you're driving along mission to mission, in stitches, laughing at this, whilst listening to some of the best tunes that they could get licenses for.
See, stuff like that's really good because it does immerse you more into the game.
Definitely, yeah. Unless you're streaming it or making a YouTube video and then you have to turn the radio off.
Yes.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, that's. I mean, is there anything else either one of you would like to add about your games?
I'm quite comfortable. I think I've talked a lot about this, and I think we talked a lot about yours, right? Yeah. I reckon it's time to let Mark do the processing.
Oh gosh, I mean, it's a very tricky decision. I have to be honest.
I get that.
Maybe we have to see. We say non-biased, didn't we?
Yes.
Well,
so we can't just mention, the fact that I was best man at his wedding, or just reminding you.
That doesn't factor in at all. No, I mean,
you're the worst man at his wedding.
Worst man.
I mean, it is a tricky one because, as I said, not being overly familiar with either one of these games. I mean, GTA is obviously a more successful series. It's more well known. It's more recognised. It's got that going for it.
I mean,
straight out the gate.
When we first picked these games up, we all went, "Whoa, GTA!"
Yeah.
And then, Horace. Okay, tell us about it.
Yeah, which is why I asked you why that particular one in the series.
Yeah, of course, because GTA 5 on paper.
All the
better.
GTAs.
That one's in there.
Yeah.
That's in the heart. That's GTA is San Andreas is the one that I'd go to.
Yes, but again, you making a really strong case for Horace as well. Again, a game that I've had a lot of experience with. I've seen minimal gameplay, so it's you both made very sort of good arguments as to which one of your games.
Yes.
Come
on, cut the shit. Who's won it?
I have to say, I'm going to have to give it to GTA. I'm sorry.
Grand Theft Auto.
And the reason for that is the way, hearing you describe it and how much sort of time you sank into it and the passion sort of that you put into it, driving around the city, like you say, just doing random tasks.
I want it
because he's got no fucking friends.
I want it on charisma alone, everyone.
But I can relate to that in a way because I know how it feels to be that immersed in the game world.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Horace does.
Shut up.
As well.
Shut the fuck up.
Which one would you pick?
That's all right. Go and just.
I feel like you'll probably pick GTA as well.
Get a room.
Sorry.
To be honest, it's a good choice.
Yeah.
I hate to say it because I feel like I'm siding, but
if Horace had come out maybe a year or two ago,
that's the problem. Is that you haven't had time to then talk nostalgically or passionately.
No, that's it. It's right now. It's happening right now, and the game hasn't hooked me like that in a long time.
But both very good games still, though. Very, very, very highly acclaimed.
Oh, acclaimed.
But yes. So yes, well done, Mike.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll drink to that.
Yeah, better than next round.
Round 2. This is bad games time, ladies and gentlemen. So we are now going to be fighting for who has the worst game, and we're going to be trying to make sure ours is the shittest.
You see, this should be.
We'll start with Michael.
My shit wheel.
Go for it.
Oh.
Tick, 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 tick. What the hell is that?
Is that quotes?
It's a quotation mark. The game. I'll tick again. Tick, 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 tick. Don't you dare. Oh.
Okay, roll the video.
I'd go with quotation marks personally.
You want to intersect that with some Retro Sesh promotional video there, are you?
Well,
Look, that's what it's from. The quotation on the next one.
That's it. Bloody hell. We know what we're doing.
Surf's Up is so shit it fucked up the wheel.
Okay, let's have a quick look at that. What are you doing the next one?
Let's have a look at...
On the PS2 that one is, Mark.
Yeah. Is this a licensed game, Mike?
Yes.
Yeah. Because I've just seen what's come up here.
Tick, 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 tick.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest, I was hoping it wouldn't be Postal 3.
Did you not?
Because I haven't played it for that long, and I never want to play it again. It's going to be like, so what's so bad about it? I can't remember.
I can't remember, it's just shit.
Right.
Okay, I've got a very brief YouTube video here of Surf's Up.
Okay.
I'm just going to watch it really quick. Just to get a flavour for what this game is.
If you go on Retro Sesh's channel, we've got a video on it as well.
Oh, right.
And actually, the intro is from Ed. Where
is it Ed on a surfboard?
he actually is very angry in the intro for this because the game is shit. He himself already on film has said how shit this game is and how unhappy he is.
Did you actually play it, Ed?
Yeah. It's like a 20-minute video.
Wow.
Oh, sorry, Ed didn't play it.
No, I didn't play it. I watched them play
He's
it.
just angry.
Yeah.
I watched them play it, and I thought, you know what? It's not that bad a game.
Fuck off!
Alright.
It's amazing.
The presentation, I have to be said, the menus look quite interesting. You know.
Good. Menu points.
There's some very PS2 waves though. Yeah. That's they haven't quite worked out wave physics still, have they?
No. So let me talk you through it.
Alright, yeah, go on then.
Basically, in each race, you pick characters from the film. There's ones to unlock and shit like that. There's no point.
There's a chicken here.
There is a chicken. It's comical relief. Have you ever seen Moana?
No. Sorry.
Okay, there's a shit chicken in that too.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Must
obviously
be a thing.
it's a Disney thing. Put a shit chicken.
Yeah.
Right. So with the races, the mechanic is that you are against a timer, and there's like barriers you have to go through. You remember the barriers you have to go through in like the speed runs in Spyro? You have to ding ding ding. You have to do that.
Okay.
But you also have to keep momentum up by keep going up the wave next to you and coming back down. The challenge is, of course, that the waves are coming closer and taking the barriers down as you go. They're not taking them down. There's no physics to that.
No.
They just cover it.
Yeah.
And then you also have to get to the end of the level before it finishes. It's obviously a children's game. Surf's Up is a children's film. I didn't get past the first level. I then skipped the first level, went to the second level where there was some more level design going on. There was like a bit of like a barrier sort of thing that you had to negotiate and go over and around. At no point did I think that it added anything to the game. It had like a jump in it, but it wasn't. The physics were so off that it wasn't rewarding going up the ramp. If you think about some of the like even Nintendo 64 games like Wave Race and things like that, where you're blasting about going over the wave, that was done so much more.
Very shitty.
Yeah, exactly what it is.
64 clone.
And this whole time, whilst you're doing it or trying to do this, you've got the characters heckling you like the whole time, like because oh my god, that wasn't good enough. Oh, this is oh no,
Is it the actual people that did the voice in the film, or is it just like
they did have licensing and use it? Yeah,
oh right, okay.
Again, I mean, I haven't seen the film.
I can imagine whoever was in the film and just like in a booth trying to record this additional dialogue.
They did a second Surf's Up film
and being like, "Why am I here?" You know. They
did a second Surf's Up film, and John Cena.
John Cena's in it.
He does a voice acting for it.
Oh man!
And he's in the game as well. Not this game that we're talking about, the one afterwards. But yeah. And the thing that was, I understand it's a difficult game. That's what I'm saying. But my point is that not only is it a difficult game, but it's not rewarding. And the biggest thing here is that it's made for children.
Oh, of course.
And the fact that like we played Lassie on the PS2, it was shit, but it was easy, and we did it, and we were just following a pattern, like some pause around and stuff like that, and it was like, oh my god, what are we doing? We can complete this game in half an hour. Yeah, that's fine. It's a kid's game.
Yeah.
We're like almost 30 playing it. You don't expect it to be good, but this, it's ridiculous. You're going to be no older than probably 13 if you go, Daddy, I want to get this off the shelf. Sorry, not calling you Daddy. You want to get it home and play it. So I don't understand why they would have done that. There's no easy like modes or anything. You know, it's not like we set it on hard or anything like that.
I mean, yeah, if a child's meant to be playing this, then they've obviously got very short attention spans anyway.
Yeah,
they're not going to put the time into it to get good.
Exactly.
They're just going to dump in and move on to the next thing.
Exactly. Yeah,
So
they're just going to go, well, that was shit.
You're saying why make a game purposely this challenging?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a Surf's Up is aimed at children, and so this game, therefore, its main thing is to get children to go, Daddy, I want this off the shelf.
I think that's... Yeah.
And it doesn't even satisfy that.
So they phoned it in, basically.
And then hung up.
Yeah. Well, I've pulled up the cast list for the film, so you tell me if any of these people actually featured in the game.
Oh golly, I wouldn't be able to answer that. I don't think.
Oh right,
no,
okay.
I don't remember. I remember them being fucking annoying.
Shia LaBeouf was in it. Jeff Bridges.
Really?
Yeah. John Heder, who you mentioned already.
John Cena.
John Cena? Oh no, he's credited as...
No, that's John Heder.
Oh, is it? Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh right.
That's
I like him. SNL.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Ooh, what you say?
James Woods as well. I'm
right.
very interested to see if he made any dialogue for the game.
Yeah. So because they got a really good cast, because of course it was a film. I think it's a DreamWorks.
I believe so. Yeah.
So oh hello, I've got a cat tickling my legs.
See, that's the cat from earlier.
No. Also, it was a black cat and it's just crossed my path, so death will ensue.
He's going to want feeding. He's going to knock something over in a minute.
He's wiggling light.
Okay.
So there we go.
Yeah.
That's my intro for Surf's Up. Edward.
I mean, you sold it very shittily, so well
you.
done. I won't be playing this game anytime soon.
You had a quick Google?
You know.
I didn't. I don't know what you're talking about.
He's doing his face.
I don't know what you mean.
Shit things about Postal 3.
Before we do that, I'm just going to have to take a quick break because I need to feed the cat.
Oh right, yes.
Oh, damn cat.
So
all right.
I will be. Well, they won't know we'll be back because
They will never know we're gone.
They'll never know we're gone. But we will know we've been gone.
By the way, you're still recording though, as if we need to gracefully say goodbye.
I know, it's weird. We will continue now.
Okay, so
We didn't go anywhere.
we just
not at all.
nothing happened.
No,
We've been here the whole time. Thank you for the drink, Ed. Did everyone have a nice quiche? I can't believe that you gagged on that dolphin, Ed. That was not Echo.
Yeah, I've
good
never
effort.
seen anyone deep throat a dolphin quite.
No. Good use of the blowhole though.
Certain
Right.
set of skills.
So Ed, it's time for you to punish us with explaining of how good Postal 3 is.
Yeah. Oh,
How good or shit it's shit.
Come on, lay it on us.
Right. Postal, I remember playing, I think I had a demo for it years ago. And it was just a demo first, and I used to play it all the time.
Sorry, just to clarify, you're talking about Postal 1.
Postal 1.
Top down, isometric.
That's the one. I used to play that a lot, and I thought it was brilliant. I
Yeah.
loved that you
That's
could
such a good game.
stick around.
It took me a while when I first played it. There's just a number at the top right, like 150.
Yeah, that's it.
And then you're like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? And you kill someone, it goes 149, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's basically a
everyone.
murder simulator.
Yeah.
And then you just got to...
Yeah.
It's just a case of you kill as many police officers or whatever as you can. But once you hit that number, then you're allowed to leave the area and move on, which was great. Then Postal 2 came along, and I read about it, and I went, but it's not top down. It was a first person shooter.
Yeah.
That's all it is. I thought,
Yeah.
oh, God, this is going to be crap.
Yeah.
And so I played it, and with that whole set in mind, going, oh, they're not going to like this, and I did. I actually enjoyed it. It was really good.
It's literally one of my favourite games ever. I love that game so much.
It is really good. You've still got that sense of freedom if you want to go run around, do everything you can. There's a bit more of a story element on it, I found, than the first Postal. First Postal did have a story element, but it was just a top-down thing. You didn't have to know about it. It was, it added a bit more of a story element into it, but it didn't ruin the whole, I suppose, how you're supposed to play the game.
Yeah.
So that was, I was happy with it. So then Postal 3 came along, and I thought, you know what, yeah, okay, it looks similar. And once again, the one change I did notice when I read about it in a magazine or whatever, it was that it was third person now. Postal 3. I thought, well, that's not a massive difference. I've played some third person games where it actually works.
Yeah.
I thought it would actually work towards its favour. So I started playing it, and then it was a case of what the fuck's going on? Why am I having to follow this story all the time? Why is it telling me where to go and what to do? It felt like it was almost trying to go a bit down the Grand Theft Auto route of things.
Yes.
And it was ruining that sense of sandboxing or freedom. It was actually making it more restrictive than Grand Theft Auto did, in a way. And I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was just buggy as fuck.
Yeah, it's a buggy mess. Yeah,
it was absolute dog shit. There were parts where it just felt unplayable and shit, and you know it was just bollocks. I mean, in comparison to, it felt like from the first Postal to the second Postal, it did feel like it was growing. They're both great for their own different reasons, but they're trying new things, but they're sticking to the core fundamentals of what that game is.
Yeah, and it's niche.
Yeah, but then it felt with Postal 2, they just chucked it all out the fucking window, and it might as well not have been called Postal.
Yeah,
it was a big bag of shit, and they just turned away from it. I know there have been plenty of other games, where they've changed styles throughout, but. It's not. That's it. It's not part of the post.
You find it too jarring, like the change. Is that?
It wasn't that it was jarring. It was more. It was restricting you from doing what you want to do. It was you can't just. I'll be honest. The whole point of Postal, and then I know people don't like this kind of game sometimes, but the whole point of Postal is you can just run around and you can kill people with various weapons and do what you want.
Yeah, a bit like what we were saying earlier about GTA, is the appeal of being able to play it any way you like.
Basically, do you have much experience with the Postal series?
I haven't got much, if I'm honest. So
okay,
it's quite interesting.
So the first one is, as we said, it's basically just a simple case of top down. You have to kill everyone.
Yeah,
almost an arcade game in that sort of sense.
Yeah, it's like you're in one small section of area with a few houses, and you're just running around out there, and you're just trying to kill people.
Yeah.
More people you kill, the count goes down, and then you can. Then it generates an exit for you.
Yeah, and depending on how you kill them, so if you set a fire and they die in the fire, you get extra points for that rather than just simply shooting them. So on and so forth. There's like little mechanics in there. Postal 2 elaborated on that. As we said, it's a first-person game. You could run around, and the whole point was that it was completely free. The levels of the game are the days of the week, Monday to Friday.
Oh, yeah.
And on Monday, you have to just get milk. And you go to a shop called Lucky Ganesh, which is obviously, shall we say, a stereotypical corner shop.
Yeah.
And inside there, you just have to get milk. You pick it off the shelf, and you go, and there's a massive queue. And there's people in front of you that are arguing about, I want a refund, why isn't this done, blah, blah, blah. Okay. It's obviously provoking you at that point to then gun everyone down, steal the milk, and you're out. But the point is that you can stay in the queue, and you can wait, and you can go through it. And that was their... Like, obviously, this game and this sort of game is banned in many countries. I believe it's still banned in Australia.
Australia are really tough on that.
The way they got around it was, sure, you murder a lot of people. You don't have to. Yeah. Every single task that you do, you can do without even having a weapon. No one played it like that. But the point is that you had that freedom to go around, and it genuinely felt like you were in this setting. And as Ed said, there's a massive plethora of weapons, and then of mods on top of that as well. And then, of course, as Ed is saying, you get into Postal 3, which is an open game, but it's third person. But the negative thing, as Ed said, was the fact that they drag you around with the story.
It's linear.
That's what you like.
That's the problem. So we were saying the first time round, it was still only a small area, but you could basically spend as much time in there as you want. Once the exit's there, you don't have to go. If you're going, you know what, I'm having too much fucking fun here, you crack on, you carry on. The second one, you still have the options to do what you want. So you obviously see the objective of it, but you don't have to follow that process. Sometimes, you do often find games where you go, you know what, I actually like this a little bit, and you start looking around for different, maybe. You might even look for bugs or Easter eggs or whatever.
Or if there is a mechanic in the game for like hidden packages and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, what's behind that bin? I don't know.
Yeah.
So you've got that option, but then the third one, it's just holding you down. It's making you follow a story, and the problem as well with this whole following a story is this. I don't know who wrote it. I think it might have been a couple of cats or something. I don't know. I would love to tell you it, but it's just gone out of my mind because it's absolute bollocks.
Vince Desiderio is the guy that wrote it.
Right.
He writes all of them.
Right.
And the dev, he's called Mike something, and he freely admits now to this day that game is a fucking joke. And he's kind of every time someone brings
Wasn't
it up,
it because the developers or something weren't they struggling or something, and they thought we've got to get something out now?
I'm just reading on here. It says that they had to outsource some of it to like another.
Is it Russians or something?
Yeah, another developer.
Yeah.
But then it kind of contradicts itself further down here, obviously. But
it was like they've.
But it did sound like the whole process was a bit.
Yeah, I think maybe they were looking at developing another game, but then they thought, no, we've got to get something out there now, or else we're going to have no money. Yeah. Let's get Postal 3 done.
Curiously enough, as well, it had a bunch of ports planned for Linux, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360. They're all announced,
and they
all got cancelled.
That's the big thing about the game, and that's what I think is the most crushing thing about it, is that it was peaking.
Yeah.
And then somewhere, obviously with regards maybe to staffing or something like that, it just crashed. And that's when the buggy mess came about. They probably introduced a thick storyline and linearity to kind of bypass the fact that if people were to go out exploring too much, you'd probably fall through the map.
The bit I'm going to say here, and this is to try and throw you under the bus, is yours is part of a film franchise game. It's a quick money seller. It's get a license for a film. Let's throw a game out there.
Yeah.
This was Postal.
Yeah.
This was a series of it was two brilliant games with their own different styles. Yeah. The third one comes along and everyone goes, let's see what we're going to fucking do now. Let's see what wild and crazy stuff we can do this time in Postal.
Yeah. We've seen this before.
And it just got
franchise.
it's a bit like it's not the same. It's like Saints Row. What crazy stuff are they going to do next? Yeah. And so then it came along and everyone just went, I'm throwing it in the bin. Yeah, and you had diehard fans of the Postal series.
Yeah, me too. Well, I am one, and I played a good couple of hours, and I turned off and put Postal 2 back on in a heartbeat. What I will say though, to defend myself, is that even though Postal 3 is a mess, it's not what we wanted it to be, and is not even what they wanted it to be. It is still a game in its own right. Should you not know what Postal is, if you were to pick that game up, it does still play as a game. Whereas the whole target audience for my game, kids, it just doesn't work. Like, they're not doing that. They sold it and it was never going to happen.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Going back to Postal again for a moment, we must move on to number 4 very briefly, because I need to defend one of my favourite franchises. And that is that they've got a new game out called Postal 4 No Regrets. It's a joke on that tattoo, the No Regrets. No Regrets.
Okay.
And they are keeping it in-house. They are taking their time with it. You can buy it now on Steam. It's obviously in beta or whatever, and they're doing patches for it almost every month. But I've played more of that than I have a Postal 3 that's not even released yet. It's really good. They're back to the first-person stuff. You can just run around free, exactly the same. One of the biggest things in Postal 2, I don't know if you remember, Ed, was the loading screens. You had like a little patch. It was like a pretty large map, but it was done in sections. Okay. So like if you walk through a tunnel, it would go and it would just have a loading screen, and then you go.
It's a bit like Half-Life did that.
Yes, especially on the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Did you ever try that?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Loading screens.
I know. But yeah, so they've eliminated that completely now. Of course, modern technology. But everyone, if you like Postal or are thinking about it, you can trust this. It's a good game, and it will be a fucking good game once it comes out. Please do, man. Yeah. Maybe add it to your wish list, get it on offer or something.
Yeah.
But going back to Postal 3, I think as an independent game, it does work for itself. But for anyone that has any experience in the Postal franchise or is expecting that sort of thing, it won't be what you're looking for.
I do have some questions for you. regarding your games.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know you said you played yours on stream.
Yes.
Mike.
No, I recorded it and then uploaded it to YouTube channel. YouTube.
You were playing it for the purposes of entertainment, let's say.
Okay. Yeah.
Had you not been playing it for that reason, would you say you'd have spent less time with it?
Mm-hmm.
Possibly, like turning it off almost instantly.
The story behind the game was that we bought it because Ed the Penguin was going to do the intro for us, as aforementioned.
Yeah.
Self-confessed that it is a shit game, that's why we bought the game initially. So I would have never bought the game.
No, of course
but
not.
if I did get a bundle of games and it was there, and I thought, oh fuck it, I'll try it. No, I would not have played it for that long. I had to play it for at least half an hour, I think, to get content for the video.
Yeah, of course.
Would literally never pick it up again. The only reason it's still on my shelf now is to make my collection look bigger.
It serves a purpose.
Yeah. Just as a spacer, a bookend.
Oh yeah, very good.
It does have a manual though. If you want a copy, hit me up.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, black and white. Yes. I guess. For you, Ed. When was the last time you actually played Postal 3 or any?
So, do you own Postal 3?
No, I'm trying to remember when it came out now.
Oh.
It was PS3 era.
Go back to the wiki. Hold on. It was released.
I think I ended up getting it. Do you remember when they had
2011?
Do you remember when they had? You used to be able to get. I think it loved film the games and stuff like that.
Really?
At one point, I think it was one of those. I rented it.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm glad I rented it. But I thought, you know what? Yeah, let's put some time into this. Brilliant. I thought it's been ages since I played any Postal game, and I thought, yeah, let's go for this. And I got to the point where I was like, you know what, this is doing my head in. Maybe if I just get through this, maybe they'll then let me do what I want. It's a bit like I was thinking.
Training mission.
I was thinking like you get intros in GTA's. Where you've got to do some of the story first before it unlocks. Before it opens it up, and then you can do what you want.
Yeah.
I thought, you know what, I'll just keep going through it. I'm sure it'll open it up, and I'm sure I can do something else.
Even in GTA 5, I think they lock the actual islands off and stuff, don't they, until you get past the certain points.
Yeah.
But it was just not happening, and it just looked a mess. Even. But I forgot that's the thing. I forgot it was as late as PS3.
Yeah.
Because it didn't feel like it would have been PS3.
I think the thing
was shoddy. It was shit.
With the especially comparing it to other games of the era. So I guess GTA 5 technically came out on PS3, but let's go for GTA 4. That was the more current one, wasn't it, on the PS3? So the thing is with GTA 4 is that because it's set in Liberty City or New York. It's all very tall buildings, and the draw distance therefore means that you can see pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Because you only get so far before there's another building in front of you, and if you get toward the ocean, then you're just looking out at water. Brilliant, no draw distance needed. With Postal 3, because it was set in like Arizona, it's very flat and desert-like. So you've now introduced yourself needing to have a lot of draw distance over a vast distance, which even on a
help.
I mean, even Rockstar would have had a trip from that.
The great thing you do with things like with GTA 4 is they would use it's foggy. Or things like that, because it's a city and it's going to get smoggy, it's going to get foggy. So after a certain distance, you can't see it because of the fog.
And even GTA 3, they did
when you have like clear open areas and things like that,
it's quite hard to make out. It's quite hard to make out.
Fog in the desert, it's just not going to work.
So the setting was also an issue. But going back then, they did make that work in Postal 2. So if they made it work in Postal 2, why didn't they make it work?
Because they wanted a quick sell. They thought they were gonna. They didn't know what was going to happen to the development company.
Yeah.
And they just thought, we've got to sell something. Everyone knows Postal. Let's make another Postal game.
Yeah.
And they just...
And it is a shame. Because
which I find funny because they put effort into... effort, it's funny. but they put effort into a story.
Air quotes. Effort.
And things like that.
Because
you
that's
would
what
have
they
thought-
did.
They would have thought if they took the story away and just let people run around and do what they want, surely that would have been cheaper than putting effort into a fucking story and locking you down from being able to do what you want.
I guess it depends what their situation was, right? Because
Yeah.
if they didn't have the devs, hence why they were looking to outsource and stuff, but they were the ones writing the story, then it could have been that they had written the story the whole time that they were looking for devs. Meanwhile, they found some devs at the end and they just kind of plastered this stuff in around it.
Who knows?
Rather than...
it confuses me as to why they came up with that option.
Yeah, they freely admit that
think
it was
that-
rushed. It is a mess, and don't buy it.
Yeah.
That being said, it is still a game on its own.
Yeah.
And it does have a Segway. It's got a Segway. You can ride a Segway and kill people while riding a
That's
Segway.
pretty cool.
Also, fun fact, the guy who invented the Segway died by running off a cliff on a Segway.
The irony.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Is that for real?
That's true.
Oh, well.
It
Oh, well, well.
happens. You can look it up.
Yeah.
Well, on that
No.
depressing note, yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, kids, safety first on
Yeah,
the
That's
Segway.
me done.
So, if you're going to ride a Segway, do it in Postal 3.
Yeah. Okay, again, you both made very compelling arguments for your games and their, shittiness.
Yes.
I mean, gosh, it's a tough decision for me. I have to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike, your game, like you said, you know exactly what you're getting into with a licensed game. 9 out of 10 times they're going to be shit.
Yeah.
It's just expected.
Yeah.
So at least you went in without having those huge high expectations. For what that game was.
Sorry to interrupt. That's why I mentioned Lassie. Because we played Lassie, and the whole time we played it, we were like, this is easy, it's very basic, it's shit, but it's for children.
Yes.
So, of course it's going to be that. But I was expecting the same experience with this. I think we actually played them in a different order. But I think I was expecting that experience with this. And, as I said, it wasn't.
And that's it. You got thrown a curveball from the sounds of it.
Yeah. Thanks, John.
It was actually
Cena.
trickier than you thought it was going to be, and you just weren't willing to sort of put the time into it.
Yeah.
Basically, to make it,
Yeah, and
back from it.
with those sort of games, the only payout or benefit or unlockable, if you like, is just an extra character.
Yeah.
Like, I unlocked the chicken. It's like, great. Now I can play the shit game and look like a dick.
But that's what we used to do with games back then. Even us, we used to go. You would unlock different characters and go. I'm going to play as this character. Even if there's no difference.
Yeah.
That's pretty common.
Did it have a 2-player mode?
Yes.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, I did, but unfortunately when we recorded it, it was during COVID, and we couldn't sit on the same sofa. Like, you guys have got a nice gap between you. Our sofa, you can't do that on. Got a big old gash there.
Just again, it being a children's game, you'd expect it to have some kind of multiplayer.
Yeah, I believe it did. We didn't get to try it though,
That makes
unfortunately.
sense. Yeah, I wonder if the frame rate would have been even worse as a result.
Likely. It's a big shame when that happens.
Yeah.
And even actually, going completely off piece now, GoldenEye, I tried playing it with 4 people, and I remember being such a glorious experience, and it's just like chop, 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 chop. For fuck's sake, maybe we'll just do it in like just 2s.
Yeah. Sonic R does a very similar thing with its multiplayer mode.
I've never played Sonic R.
Have you not? Oh, great. It's not a bad game.
Okay.
But you talked about the fog, how they used it in
The fog.
The fog for draw distancing. They used that quite well in the single player side of that. But as soon as you boot at the multiplayer, that's it. It's popping city.
Oh really?
It's it just can't handle it. So another example of trying to shoehorn that in. Well, I was just going to say that your game sounds more like a incomplete game.
It felt like there's no direction.
Exactly.
It wasn't
what they were trying to achieve.
You could tell by playing the game. You can tell that. Sorry to fucking completely overtalk you here. I'm not sorry.
What was that? Sorry.
Really
It's
not.
not.
Sorry, what?
It's not incomplete. It's just that you can tell when you start playing it that wasn't what they wanted the game to be like.
Yeah.
And they bodged it so they could release it.
It feels like a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes games like that, when they come across like that, it's like with a bad movie. Sometimes you can tell like the production wasn't as good as it could have been.
100%. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's all there on screen and you can see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just feels a mess, and it sounds like you had the similar experience playing this game.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas your game, like you say, it was shit, but it had a steep learning curve, which made it even worse.
Yeah.
But at least it was a complete game. It was a finished product.
It was also complete shit.
Yes,
as well.
yes, I know.
Yeah. Okay.
But for that reason, the fact that your game is a buggy, horrible mess, that is a terrible experience.
Yes.
As a gamer, it's
Go on, just say it, Mark.
Yeah, and also I give it to Postal because of that awesome box art. That actually looks like a, like a comic book.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
The first thing I saw when I popped it up.
We'll make sure to cut a picture of that in. For those of you who can't see, it's the postal dude standing upon, holding an American flag. What's he standing upon?
Like a corpse or something.
Yeah, he's standing on a corpse. He's got a lovely lady next to him, and
post that in. On the video, which is available on YouTube.
Yeah.
But so Postal gets the win on this one.
Okay.
Sorry, Mike.
No, that's absolutely fine. As a Postal fan, that game was horseshit.
You just wanted to talk about Surf's Up.
you pressed the button.
Blame the button.
If you do want to watch the full video, it's available on Retro Sesh on YouTube.
Okay.
So
we will link it.
Again, very shit games. So thank you for judging those both up.
No, thank you for judging. And as I said, even the Postal guys, the Running with Scissors crew, do fully admit that it was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And they like to, I think, hope that they just kind of there wasn't no Postal thing.
Let's forget about it.
Let's hope 4 course corrects.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for round 3, and this is Mark's round.
Yay!
So Mark has picked 10 rather obscure games.
Some obscure.
Some
not so much.
I've heard of one.
I tried to do a good mix.
I've heard of a couple.
Oh, okay.
And basically, what we're going to do is Ed and I can think. Have you ever played any of these?
One of them at least.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick the game, and then we're going to spend 5 minutes each just googling, researching, maybe watch a couple of YouTube videos or whatever, and we're going to try and gather as much information, and we're going to try and fight an argument that our game that has been picked for is the best one. And of course, Mark, as always, is going to provide a non-biased judgment based on our argument.
Completely unbiased.
Yeah. Go for it. Spin my meat.
Tick, 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 tick.
Oh,
Muramasa,
the Demon Blade.
on the Wii.
Yeah, okay, is that mine, is it?
Muramasa, the Demon Blade,
Okay.
on the Wii.
Is that mine?
That is yours.
Okay, thank you. That's not fair. Let's
Keep
see.
going, Mike, Ed.
Vanquish.
Vanquish. PS3/4.
Is that just because it crossed over?
it was. There was a re-release of it on PS4.
So are we going to discuss the original?
You can discuss either because they're pretty much the same game, but the PS4 version had a higher frame rate.
We will go for the original.
I believe it's on PC as well.
No, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, 5 minutes starting now.
Yes.
It's exactly 17:30.
Go for it.
Oh shit, we've time-stamped it. I'll have to try and use... Okay, we're done.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Okay.
No.
Oh, wait for
Who's going
this.
first then?
Right,
can't wait for
here we
this.
go.
Go
Now,
on.
just to clarify for everyone listening and watching on YouTube, we are going to be presenting these games like we know and love them, but secretly, Ed and I have never so much as played these games or even looked at them until the last 5 minutes. So, Ed, kick us off, my love.
Right. Okay. Vanquish.
Yes, tell us about it.
PS3.
PS Triple.
Is a... I'm trying to remember now. It's a third person. I mean, obviously, I played it all the time. It's a third person game. I
Like Postal 3.
Not like Postal 3.
So it's just like that. Is it a buggy man?
No, it's not. It's smooth. It's clean. I can see why they did re-release it on the PS4. Not that there was a problem with the PS3 version, but to increase that frame rate would have been amazing.
Right.
Was amazing. It was amazing. You dick.
Let's not talk about your pastimes now.
Right. So I would. Have you ever played Army of Two?
Yes.
So I would call it like with covering and stuff, the covering on there,
Right.
apart from the two-player aspect, but the
Yeah.
covering system. It's very similar to that. You know, you can move from one area to the other, and you slide down and you cover. things like that.
Lots of chest high walls.
But sometimes it can be like narrow walls as well that you can move around. But
so is it a military sort of shooter?
Yeah, it's that kind of thing. But you're equipped with this like mech suit as such,
right?
And I think you can carry. It's got this blade system on it. They call it a blade system, where they. I'm trying to remember. I think it's 3 weapons on there. And a grenade. But the difference with it is. Do you remember you used to get like Japanese arcades where they used to have like top-down shooters, 2D shooters, where you'd have bullets coming in from all sides, like that. So even no matter where you're covering, you could be getting shot from anywhere. So you've got to keep an eye on all of your surroundings at all the time. But the other great thing about it is he's got this sliding system, but it's like he just bolts at high speed, so he charges up. You can bolt at high speed, and you can speed across from one side of this level to the other in seconds.
Right.
Obviously, the thing about that is you break cover, you can get caught.
Yeah.
And people can start shooting you because they're fully aware of where you are at the time. But it can also be useful to get out of the area in
as long as you're not doing that.
Because you've got to remember, it's manic. You're just getting fired and attacked from all sides at all points. So it kind of builds up that aspect of normal, like I don't know, let's say Call of Duty. It's like you cover, you advance. You cover, you advance.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. But no one. I mean, how many games have you played when those kind of systems of the cover where you've got to be concerned about what's going on behind you?
Yeah,
not very often.
Even in like games similar, like from your description at least, like Gears of War is very similar to that.
Yeah.
You've got lots of cover, but you clear a stage and then you move on.
Yeah,
and then you move on. You're only worried about what's going on in front of you.
But this is like it's just you can just get barraged by bullets all the time. It's basically you've got to keep that pace going.
Yeah, I think Army of 2 sounds very similar in that respect.
Yeah. So no matter if you're moving back or forth,
Do you know if there's any co-op stuff like Army of 2 as well?
I think single player only. I've only ever played the single player myself.
Have you?
Yeah. You see. It's my shared ritual.
Is there a co-op mode?
There is not.
Okay.
No.
So there was a couple of bits of DLC, I think, for weapons. But
you didn't buy them though, did you?
No, I didn't.
Just like the original game.
That's it.
He's one of those speedrunners.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you completed the game before the DLC was released.
And it would be interesting to watch someone speedrun it. That would be cool. Because there was so much going on.
It's a very speed friendly game.
Well, have you played it too? And it's as well as that. It's obviously it's more. It was developed in Japan, and you can tell that through the voice acting. It is very like Resident Evil drama of levels of voice acting.
You're almost a Jill sandwich.
It's very tongue-in-cheek.
The atmosphere though, it's weird. It's like futuristic. It feels very bright, but you can also see lots of details on the textures and things like that.
Right. Okay.
It's a beautiful looking game.
Yeah.
I would. Even if someone didn't want to buy it, it doesn't feel like their kind of game. I'd say just go and watch it on YouTube just to see how amazing it looks.
Okay.
It's really pretty, and especially as I said, because you've got this whole rush system.
Yeah.
And when you see it, it's just like
just
feels pure. It feels.
That's
perfect.
the thing that's sticking out to me right now.
Yeah.
I mean, so far from what you've said, you said it's very similar to Army of 2 minus the co-op. For me, couch co-op is a game changer. I fucking love couch co-op.
There's not enough of it.
Agreed. And the fact that it's missing that is a bit of a down. But it's got that extra mechanic of you being able to zap forward. I would like to see how that worked and how that.
Also, some cover sometimes you'll find it's destructible.
Okay, yeah.
So you can only stay there for so long. You can't just go. You know
faction.
what? I'll stay here, sort these guys out for a bit. But because you've still got to keep an eye on what is behind the cover, even if you're fighting both ways.
Now imagine doing that, and your mate is flanking around the outside.
That's what I love. That's what I love about Army of 2. I would play Army of 2 any day. I know we're going off the game, but yeah. I was honestly just recommend just going on YouTube and just watching it. It's eye watering.
That's a good way.
Someone's looked at that thesaurus.
And what's your game, Michael?
Mine is Mamasa, the Demon Blade, available on the Wire.
What was the name again? Sorry.
Mamasa, the Demon Blade.
Mamasa, not Muramasa.
Muramasa. Muramasa. They call me the master of Muramasa, actually, because
The Muramasa.
Marasta. Okay.
Marastabate.
Wanking. Right. So this is what I've played of it, which is all of it because it's amazing. It looks like it is definitely 100% a platforming sort of side scroller. But what I will say is that what I feel sets this game apart from others, because of course platforming side scrollers there's plenty of. I'm not going to say graphics. It's a Wii game. Then there's not going to be good graphics, but the art that goes into it. And if you look at a page, I haven't because I just know. But if you look at a page about the game, like a Wikipedia page, you'll find just like one. There's probably one available. But you'll find that it's just filled with proper artists who have definitely gone out of their way to make sure that they bring their unique version of it. And it's cartoony. But it's not.
Is it any particular style? Is it more like an anime
I would say
style?
it looked more like... Yeah, it's definitely anime.
Or manga?
No. It's anime, but it's more like an oil painting.
Okay.
Like all the background and everything is more like an oil painting. And that's what I mean. You can tell someone's literally drawn those things. I wouldn't be surprised if... I didn't notice it when I played it, but if they do, if they repeated it a little bit, but somebody's definitely gone out their way and they're very well credited, and you can tell when as soon as you get artists involved and in designing things and they're credited in the game properly on the head of the possible Wikipedia page, that you've got some serious business going on. Another thing that caught my eye as well was the visuals. And that is, it's a sword. You have a sword to attack enemies with. And the visuals, what I mean by that is the sword glows different colours, but blue is my favourite.
What do the colours represent? Anything?
Just how you feel. It's like a mood ring, but it's your sword.
It's a mood sword.
Yeah, a mood sword. And the blue.
Get your mood sword out.
Get your mood sword out. My pork mood sword.
That's your mood sword today.
But it glows with the art as well. The fact that they've got all the shadows and reflections on there, it makes it look absolutely amazing. When you're slashing your enemies, they also have then particles that come off them, which look absolutely glorious. And you can tell with the frame rate is also absolutely pucker on this game. Pucker. Not pies, not tea.
Mood sword.
Not Jamie Oliver. All right. Mood sword. But when you're jumping around, it just runs so fluid, and it works. And you can jump up trees, and you can. It's a platformer, right? So you go up and you collect things, and the elements and the way they work together, it works very much in your favour, and it makes it a visual feast.
Oh, lovely.
I will also say as well, of being a platformer and a bit of a hacky slashy, there are bosses. They're not too overpowering, though, I didn't find in my playthrough. They're very manageable. You're not sitting there for ages replaying and replaying.
Does it feel challenging still, though?
Yes, yes. You're going to be on your toes. But the way that they're also designed and their art style, even though being the same sort of oil-drawn sort of thing. What am I trying? There's definitely a word for it. I'm just not good at art. But they look
watercolor effect.
Yes, we'll go watercolor rather than oil.
Yeah,
is that the one?
Yeah.
Would you?
I'd say it's more oil painted.
Okay, I'll write you wrong. Come on, you've played this as well. Now then.
Oh, I haven't. I don't.
How's the voice acting, Mike?
Voice acting.
I know you've got a degree in Japanese. So.
I do, yes.
Yeah.
I've got... what's their language again? Kanji? That's the writing, isn't it? So, going forward, I think that what I'm trying to sum up is that this game, even though being a rather similar sort of vein, as in it's a platforming hack and slash stuff, I find that it has a very unique sort of feel to it, a very unique feel that would actually draw you to this game over others, or at least when you're in that certain mood. The fact that the PAL version does give you those English subs as well, so you can at least attempt to follow what's going on is good. But let's face it, we're all here for the lovely visuals and to slash people's throats with a sword whilst glorious particles, the blue variety, come off.
Beautiful. The blue one, that matches your vein.
My vein.
Wow.
Good stuff. Right to the trachea.
Well done, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
You've sold those games really well.
Yeah.
For obviously 2 people that have played them extremely.
Thoroughly.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know.
I've got all the achievements.
I know them
It's on the
in and
Wii. It
out.
doesn't have achievements.
Yeah.
I've got.
And the winner is.
Well, it is a tough decision. I have to say though, you both made very good cases. I am going to give it to Ed though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That means he wins today.
Yes.
And I'm going to say that is very well deserved. You definitely just explained the game a lot. I hope afterwards, in a minute, we'll actually look at a couple of bits of video, and I want to have a look at your game and see how well it actually looks compared to how you said it.
You're being nice to me. What do you want?
More sucky. Yeah, I genuinely want to look at it, and I want to, because these are good suggestions, man. Thank you very much.
Hey, well,
So yeah, please break down and analyse us.
well, yeah. I mean, I've pretty much summed up what you said there, but no, that was well done actually. Ed, I really liked your description of Vanquish.
I actually want to play it.
I like the fact
I
that
genuinely actually want to play it.
Likewise with this one.
Yeah, I like the
Just
fact you
saying
picked
that.
No, I know it does look good.
yeah, they're both very good games, and I'm quite glad they both came up.
Yeah.
Because they are very different games as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really pleased that you picked up from what you saw of that very small snippet of gameplay, that you picked up on the speed
Yeah.
aspect of that
Yeah.
game, the frantic nature of it,
Yeah.
but also the look of it, the fact that it's this sci-fi crazy
Yeah.
third-person shooter. And also you clued in quite well to the fact that the story isn't that serious,
Yeah.
and it's very tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is another thing
Yeah.
they were really going for. Is they
Well,
were,
it kind of some of the reviews. It was overwhelming positive reviews. But there was occasionally some criticisms on the voice acting.
But, I mean, again, you hit all the points on why Muramasa is such a visually it's such a striking game. I'm really glad you picked up on the art style, because that is the striking thing about that game. It stands out.
It did come across like you're running left and right. You can jump up things, and of course it's a platformer. But the art style, the music, the composers, and everything like that, and that's what made it stand out.
That
for
all
me.
does come across really well
When I played it.
Yeah, in the game.
In my experience of the game.
You know who's won now. You don't have to pretend.
I know, but I like pretending.
I know. Given the limited time though that you had to research that, it was
5 mins. Yeah, that was a good amount of time as well. I feel
quite impressive that you managed to hit mostly the
Right,
key
Ed.
points of those.
Go on then, get your
games.
phone out again. Look at Muramasa, the Demon Blade.
I will say it will be forever known from now on as Muramasu, the Mood Sword.
Muramasa, the Moon
What
Sword.
is that? Is there any point to the colours on the sword? Do they do anything different?
It has been a while since I played it, but what I seem to remember, because you get many different swords in it.
So it just glows depending on what sword.
You can swap them in. I think there's a ridiculous number of. I think it's like 120 swords in the game or something like that.
Oh, really?
I'll have to fact check that. But
Oh, it's a shame I didn't pick up on that. That would have been good to mention.
Just having a quick look at the IGN video.
They've all got different
review.
properties.
I looked at the IGN video review for mine as well.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, that's always a good place to go for these things.
And what did you think of mine?
It looked nice.
It does look nice, doesn't it? Yeah. It looks like a nice, sort of pleasant game that you could kick back and just chill out with. Yours is obviously much of a. I want to shake.
Yeah,
I want to have heart palpitations.
There are very two different moods.
Sword ref.
Indeed.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
The first Pocket Knockers podcast.
That was fun.
I hope you enjoyed it.
That was
I
timing.
just saw it.
That was good timing. It was good timing,
That
wasn't it?
was
Soon as you said
perfect.
first Pocket Knockers podcast. Done.
There it
Well,
is.
it's like I didn't focus
Bang
on.
on.
Pros.
So for those of you listening on whatever platforms you're listening on, it is available on YouTube. We've got video as well, and we'll be putting a bit of editing and things on there so you can see some videos and things and see what we are talking about. I hope we explained them well enough for those of you who are not visually with us.
And we are also available on all social media platforms: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pocket Knockers. You can find Mike himself on Twitter under, is it Retro Sesh?
Yes, it is. And I think you're available on Twitter under Ed the Penguin. Is that right?
Correct.
Oh, good. Thank you very much, Mark.
No, you're welcome. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
It's been really nice talking about games with you guys.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Truth be told, we met last night, and we basically did this podcast last night. We were just talking.
Clarify, I knew him already.
Yeah, they're lifelong
We
friends.
just met in a pub. You know what? Can you come round ours?
Yeah.
We've got some cameras and a microphone.
Ooh.
We just want to spend a couple of hours with you.
Yeah, all right.
So, thank you for joining, and Mark, very well done, man. Thank you for wrangling us, coming up with questions and
thank you.
nice things to make sure that we talk about the games properly rather than just babbling.
That's all right. I think it's gone quite well.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, and we'll just say as well that obviously these are all our own opinions and
Yes.
perspectives on things. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of stuff we talked about that isn't 100% accurate.
Yeah.
We might have got things wrong.
We know.
But please don't castrate us.
Yeah. For instance, the sword in Muramasa is not a mood sword.
No, it definitely isn't. I love a mood sword.
Yeah. They've got such a throbbing sword.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, everybody, for listening or watching, or both.
If you've got eyes and ears.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed it. We tried our best. We may try harder next time, or not.
I think
All
that's less effort.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
I'm waving if you're listening.
Take care. Yeah.
Can you hear my motion?
Don't say.